on 106.5 FM and online. It's the After 5 Guest with Wynn Thomas.
And time now for my After 5 guest. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Linda Gail Lewis, whose famous brother was Jerry Lee Lewis. Thanks for joining me today, Linda. Thanks for your company.
Well, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be with you today in my former home as well.
Yeah. Let's start by asking you about the new single, which is Pandemic. How did that come about? How did you get to write that?
You know, it's just been so hard, and I tell people that I feel like God gave me the song. And, of course, a lot of it is what I'm feeling and what a lot of people are feeling. This has been the most horrible thing that has ever happened in my lifetime, and I never thought that I would ever see anything like this.
Has it been bad? You're in Texas, aren't you? Has it been bad there?
I am in Texas. I live here in Austin, Texas, and you know, I've just been cut off totally from my tours in Europe. You know, I like to come to the UK, but most of the time I'm in Sweden and Norway, and I haven't been able to go there at all. I've lost probably around 6 tours.
Wow, that's strange. So what's, has it been bad for people health-wise in Texas?
You know, there's a lot of people that have the virus here in Texas, the COVID-19 thing. A lot. In the county where I live, it's thousands. It's thousands of people. And every day, now that there's another spike in it, every day there's around 300 or 400 people in the county where I live coming down with it.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's go back to the music and let's talk about the 2018 album, which was Wild Wild with Robbie Fulks. That first track is Around Too Long, which mentions Jerry in the very first line.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? I'm the sister of a hellraiser.
How is he anyway?
Oh, Jerry's doing great, and if you have a chance to check it out, it's still available, you know, on my Facebook page. I've shared a link to it. Even Elton John had a link on his page. But there was a big celebration of his birthday on September 29th, and they filmed the whole thing. And we were all together, and my 2 cousins came to join us, Jimmy Swaggart and Mickey Gilley. And my brother, you can see my brother in the video. It's all filmed, and he looks great. And he's recovered from the massive hemorrhagic stroke that he had 2 years ago.
Right. That was his 85th birthday, was it?
He is 85.
85, yeah, wow, incredible, yeah. I mean, his success in the late 50s kind of helped the family financially, didn't it?
Oh, it was a wonderful thing that my brother did for us because, you know, a lot of people are successful and they don't do so much for their families. But my brother, he shared everything he made with us. You know, he called my mother when he got his first check from Sam Phillips for $40,000, which in the 50s, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he called my mother and he said, you know, Mama, I'm going to share everything I have with you and Daddy and Linda Gail and Frankie Jean. And he did that.
That was brilliant. Yeah, what a great guy. Yeah, lovely. And really, I mean, you said that he's your chief influence. So he really was the killer. Yes, he was your person who actually gave you sort of the thought to sing yourself. Is that right?
I'm sorry, darling. What was that?
Let me start it again. He said he was your chief influence. So he sort of.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a person who made you want to sing. Is that right?
Yes, because, you know, when I was growing up, you know, Jerry was always at the piano. He was playing the piano and singing, and I just loved, you know, listening to him. I guess I was his biggest and first devout fan ever. I was probably 2 years old or something and toddling around listening to him. I just loved everything that he did, and I'm a huge fan. He's my favorite entertainer. He's my favorite piano player. He's my favorite singer. He's all of that to me.
The trouble is in the UK, Linda, is he's kind of remembered more for the thing with his cousin, that she was 13 years of age and he was married to her. That's a sort of scandal has followed him around over the years. What do you think about that?
We don't think about that a lot anymore, man, because it was so long ago. It was such a long time ago. But I mean, if I really try to remember what it was like, I can tell you that it was quite horrible for us because, my mother did not approve of that marriage, and she was very upset that it happened. But then, of course, we accepted it because we had to. And it was hard for Jerry, but he just kept working. It took about, I think, around 10 years for him to really get back where he was earning really good money. And, of course, that happened when he was having those hit records in country music.
Yeah.
He had several number one country songs and country albums. And he did really well in country music, but he never did stop doing rock and roll.
Yeah.
He always did rock and roll on his shows, but he was recording this wonderful country music that many people just absolutely love. So he's had a very interesting and in a way, a hard life. He's come through a lot of hard times, but God's blessed us. And when he had that horrible stroke, he was able to live. And many people in their 50s, even when they have a stroke like that, they die.
It's just a pity in the UK they talk about that marriage. They don't talk about how great he was or what a great voice he had. What a great country voice he had as well. I remember listening to his country song, and he had a real good country voice,
Oh, he's the most wonderful country singer. I love his country music. But you're right. A lot of the press people, when they're writing about him, the journalists, they just want to write about the scandals and stuff, the sensationalism. That's it.
That's what it's all about. Yeah,
that's what happens every time. Every time.
You're still singing that great song, which was written by Chuck Berry, "Roll Over Beethoven." That's a great number. You're still doing that, and did you do a duo with Jerry on that as well? Did you?
We did. Yes, we did. It was a single release for us, and it actually climbed up in the country charts pretty good. It was pretty high in the country charts, and I thought, that's not a country song. It was in the country charts. They were the only radio station that would play our music, so that was a hit. And of course, we had the hit on "Don't Let Me Cross Over," and then we had the album Jerry Lee and Linda Gale together, and it was a top 10 album in country music. And that was a thrill for me to have the single on Don't Let Me Cross Over. It got up to number 4 in Billboard.
Wow. Let's go back to another album of yours, which is the 2019 album, Interactive Affair, is it? And another great opener, I Can Help. I remember that being a UK hit as well.
Yes, darling.
Can you remember that? Yeah.
I'm trying to... Now, who's singing that, darling?
You were singing that. I can't remember who you were singing. It was the first track on the album. It was a hit in the UK for Billy somebody. I can't remember his name now, but if you've got a problem and you don't know what it is, I can help. That sort of line, yeah.
Well, Jerry does a fantastic version of that. I mean, his version of it is fantastic, and it's so cute in the song when he says, "If your child needs a mama, we can discuss that too. If your child needs a daddy, we can discuss that too." Then I recorded it, and I said, "If your child needs a mama, we can discuss that too." I did it on the New Rose label.
That's absolutely brilliant.
So we've both done that song.
That's brilliant, Linda. Yeah. And of course, you mentioned recording in Sun Studios in 1963. What a great place to work, eh?
As much as I can remember about it, it was really pretty great. Of course, we didn't think a lot about it at the time, but it's gotten to be a big thing. A lot of people are going to Memphis and going in there and recording. Our friend Sonny West went in there and did some recording, and I think he got some really great cuts in there. And well, I know he did because we heard some of them on Facebook. And so, a lot of people are going back there and recording.
Was Sam Phillips there when you were recording there?
Yeah, they're doing new recordings in there now, but I haven't done that. But a lot of people are.
Yeah, but you didn't think. Let me just say, was Sam Phillips there in 1963 when you were working there?
Oh yes,
yes,
darling. Sam was always so nice to me. He was a sweet and lovely man. I just loved him.
And you've worked with Van Morrison as well. Tell us how that happened. How did you get to work with Van Morrison, the great Van Morrison?
Actually, he just kind of went through a couple of years there where he was having some problems with writing. He had writer's block. And so he did an album first with Lonnie Donegan. And then he did that album with me. And then after that, he was able to start writing again and doing lots of great albums from what I've heard. So, but the album that I did with him was a lot of covers. I think there was one original song on there.
Right.
But all of them were cover songs. You know, he was a Jerry Lee Lewis fan, and we did a lot of the songs, you know, on the album were songs that Jerry had done.
Yeah, who isn't a Jerry Lee Lewis fan?
I guess our first single was Let's Talk About Us.
So you're still touring. What a career you've had. Now then, what's this business you once lived in Penarth near Cardiff? How did that come about?
That was absolutely wonderful. You know, I was over there and I did the recordings with Van. And after I did those recordings and I toured with him for a year, I gave my notice and I went back to playing rock and roll on the rock and roll circuit for my agent, Paul Barrett. And, you know, it became necessary for me to have a flat over there because I was there most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a flat in Penarth. And I told my husband, I said, you know, I've got a lot of work coming up here with Paul Barrett. So why don't we just stay in Wales? So my husband agreed with me. And we ended up living there for around 4 years, and we really enjoyed it.
Wow.
We had we moved 3 times. We kept changing flats. You know, we had so much fun. We absolutely had a blast. But my favorite place that we lived was in this really nice flat by the Ely River. And we were so close to the river, we could just sit in our living room and watch the swans swim by.
Wow.
And the cormorants fishing. Oh, it was like being on a 4-year vacation. Of course, I had to work on the weekends to be able to pay my bills. But I'd work on the weekends, and through the week, we would sit in our living room, watch the swans swimming by, and drink our tea. We drank tea 3 or 4 times a day. And we're back in America now, and we hardly ever drink a cup of tea. But just as soon as I get back in the UK, which I sometimes come there and tour, as soon as I'm back there, I want a cup of tea. Isn't that crazy? And lots of biscuits.
And
of course, in America, we call them cookies.
Cookies,
we have a lot of those biscuits. We gained so much weight. We would go out and eat Indian food. I was about 20 pounds heavier there. And those beautiful pictures they made for that magazine, Hello Magazine. You can look at those pictures in Hello Magazine and see that I am very heavy, and so was my husband. But we had so much fun.
There's nothing like a good curry, Linda.
The other thing that I really liked, and Eddie liked it too, is we'd go to the pub and get the curry there. The pub curry was different from the Indian restaurant curry.
Okay.
You could get this thing where you could have French fries and rice with lots and lots of sauce on them.
Known as half and half in the UK, Linda.
Half and half. That's right. I forgot what it was called. It was called half and half. We loved that.
And you did
ate way too much food when we were there. I'll tell you that right now.
And you liked the weather as well. You did the changeable weather all the time, yeah?
It was interesting. We'd get up and we'd say, well, I wonder what it's going to be like today. And then we were there during that unusually hot summer that happened, and we nearly burned up. But we had a breeze from the Bristol Channel because that's when we lived in our flat on the Bristol Channel. And we had this flat that was owned by the guy that invented the breathalyzer.
Oh, right.
And it had the most beautiful furniture in it because I guess he was, quite wealthy.
Yeah,
had beautiful furniture in it. And we lived in that flat for a year. So when that really hot weather hit, we'd open our windows and get a breeze from the Bristol Channel. And we had, of course, a beautiful view there. We see the large ships going by.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite view like the one on the Ely River, but I did really enjoy that. And my husband and I loved that flat, but the guy that had the breathalyzer thing, that invented it, he decided to sell that flat, and we didn't have the money to buy it. So we had to move to the Ely River at that time. But we absolutely enjoyed our time in Wales so much. We had a really good time there.
Well, Linda, thanks so much for being my After Five guest today. I could talk to you for ages, but I'm running out of time. But thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to play the new single, which is "Oh Pandemic," and say thanks so much and good luck with the success of the single.
I sure do appreciate you having me on your show, and I really appreciate you playing my new song. Thank you so much.
Here we go.
Oh, pandemic, you took my life away. I can feel my sanity is slipping day by day. Oh, pandemic, you took so much from me. I won't let you drown me in your dark and endless sea. I see darkness in the middle of the day, and every shut-in day is the same as the one from yesterday. My spirit has been broken, I've cried a million tears. I pray for peace and comfort and relief from all my fears. Oh, pandemic, you took my life away, and I can feel my sanity is slipping day by day. Oh, pandemic, you took so much from me. I won't let you drown me in your dark and endless sea. You can't last forever. Someday you'll go away and leave a trail of broken hearts, but it'll be a brighter day. I'll have joy unspeakable. Love will help me heal. I will have my life back, a life so rich and real. Oh, pandemic, you took my life away. I can feel my sanity is slipping day by day. Oh, pandemic, you took so much from me. I won't let you drown me in your dark and endless sea. No, I won't let you drown me in your dark and endless sea.
Linda Gail Lewis and Oh, Pandemic. And thanks so much to her for being my After 5 guest today.